Hey guys, welcome back. I'm trying to do some editing tutorials every Wednesday, and this week I'm doing kind of a picture-in-picture. So I'm going to show you how I edit my photo for today, and using both Lightroom and Skylum. Also gonna set a timer here so I keep this under 10 or under 15 minutes so I can post the whole video on YouTube. So let's get right into it. This is a shot I took over in Boulder in the Flatirons just a little bit before golden hour, off one of the trails up there. If you're curious about the exact location, you can always DM me on Instagram. My handle over there is at FR33Water if you want to check me out. But yeah, here we go. We're gonna do a start to finish edit. I'm trying to do these every Wednesday to show you guys. And it doesn't really take a whole lot of time to edit the photos because I'm gonna try to keep them under 10 or 15 minutes, and also just kind of my creative and artistic touches that I do in Lightroom. So I always usually start with the temperature sliders. I'm gonna try to bring more gold back into this photo, so I'm gonna take this a lot warmer over to about there, almost 8,000, and I'm gonna keep the tint the same. I'm gonna brighten this up a little bit. You can kind of see, I like the gradient here. It goes from dark to these trees here, and then this kind of being spotlit, and then another layer there. So a big thing I try to focus on is layering with my images. I kind of talked about that on the first editing video. So next thing I'll do is crop 4x5, 8x10 for Instagram. Yeah, I'm trying to capture this whole gradient here from going kind of dark to trees lit up to brighter. Straighten this ever so slightly, hit done. And we'll keep working through the basic adjustments here. I'm gonna take the highlights down about 50, like that. I'm gonna bring my shadows up a bit. I'm gonna bring the whites up. I don't want this. I also hold the Option key to make sure that I'm not overexposing any parts. So let's bring this down to about 20, like where that's sitting. I'm gonna take the blacks down to add more contrast in this image. I'm gonna come up here and add just a little bit there as well. Cool, I like how that's looking. I just like the shadow play in this file a lot, and also, yeah, I was kind of creeping into golden hour, so I like the look there. Not gonna do anything with texture. I am gonna bring the clarity up. I don't go crazy here, but for this one about 11. I do want these peaks at this particular point of interest to be really sharp. As you can see, it is really sharp in the original file, so I just want to keep that. That's basically the main subject of interest. Dehaze up to about 5. Let's go vibrance. We're gonna take this up about 10. Saturation up to about 14. I am gonna mess with the tone curve a little bit on this file. It's starting to look a little too dark, so let's come up to the blacks and kind of bump this up a little bit. I changed this because I was just losing a lot of detail on this lower layer here. Also gonna add right here. Pull this up from the bottom. So what this is doing is, I'll show you with the red there. I'm gonna warm up these trees more. Pull the highlights down a little bit, just a little bit. And maybe pop this exposure on these trees as well to add a little more light into this first layer. So I added a little bit of warmth with the temperature, a little bit of exposure there too. Let's go down to the tone curve. We're gonna pull our highlights down a little bit. We're gonna pull the lights up quite a bit here. Darks down. Bring our shadows back up to kind of balance out the contrast that we're messing with there. Yeah, I like how this is looking so far. I'm going to just add a little bit in the HSLs, not a whole lot. I'm going to pull some of these blues back because I want this image to be really green and gold and not really very blue today. So let's pop these colors a little bit. Continue to basically adding a little more color, trying to make it feel a little closer to sunset. Maybe this didn't happen exactly at sunset, but I'm kind of adding that with some of these other tools. And let's see, definitely want some sharpening here. So I'm going to hold the Alt key on this masking tool. You can see what areas of the photo are being sharpened. I'm going to bring this up a little higher to about 75. It's over. About there. Yeah, this is a pretty common ratio that I use, between 75 and 85. Bringing this masking up, holding that Alt or Option key, and kind of watching what areas that I want to be really sharp come into sharpness. So just a little bit of noise reduction. This is pretty sharp, ISO 100. So shot on the 70 to 200 on the Sony a7R3 at 5.6 at 1/320th of a second. So there's not a lot of grain or noise in this file to begin with, so I don't have to be too worried about that. It is looking a little dark to me, so I'm gonna bring my shadows up a bit. I may have boosted the contrast a little too heavily, so just kind of, when you do one thing, balance with another. I'm not gonna turn the lens corrections on. I like the style here. This is kind of bokeh out on the left side, and I like what the lens has done with this, so I'm not going to apply any lens corrections. And I'm going to drop down a little bit of bokeh on the edges here, and that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to give this a star rating, and I'm going to make a copy. I always make a virtual copy before I go into Skylum, in case I need to go back to the JPEG and tweak the JPEG or make a story version. I always copy over. It's really easy to just right click in Lightroom, create virtual copy. You can make lots of those if you're messing around with different edits and color fields. Don't be afraid to do that. It's just making a little digital copy of the file so you can mess around and make some different tweaks. So now I'm going to take this into Skylum Luminar 4. Let's go JPEG. That's how I'm going to export it. sRGB. Right there, we're going to go 300 DPI, edit. This is going to open up Skylum Luminar 4, where I'm going to put a filter on these and add just a little bit more color and golden hour into the file. So we'll coffee break for a moment while it processes. Okay, so now we have Luminar's open now. Pull that onto the screen so you guys can see, and I have some looks that I've already made down here. For timing, I'm almost at 10 minutes in the video. I'm just gonna click on one of my looks and show you guys the tweaks that are made inside of it. And as soon as I hit this one, it blows this whole file out. So be very careful when you use Luminar and Skylum. You can ruin your photos. So definitely keep that little tip in mind. Down here is a huge slider, amount. We don't need 100% on this guy. We need like maybe 35% on this whole slider. What's this doing? Let's go to, it's gonna make our temperature a little cooler. I don't really need to do that for this file. Dropped our highlights down, boosted the shadows. AI Enhance, brought this up a bit. Show you what that does. It kind of made the whole image a little brighter. It just kind of enhanced the whole file. There's really no sky to enhance, so that's not really gonna have an impact on this file. I did bring up the medium details on my final image. And yeah, sharpening is up a bit. Of landscape enhancer, golden hour up to 50. Foliage, this can come up a bit too. This does have a little bit of a LUTs applied, warm midtones. That's gonna help, like I said, kind of create that pseudo golden hour. I wasn't necessarily at the spot right during golden hour, so this is a cool way to just kind of continue to add a little more gold into the photo. And this has an adjustable gradient from the top, it looks like. And you can always click to see if this helps, or I'm not going to use that for this particular file. And then I also added type 2 origin key effect here. Not a lot. You can see this will ruin your photo again. I mean, if this is like what is the style of your photography. So that's what this slider is, kind of artistic interpretation, and then we'll click apply. All right, now this is gonna process back into Lightroom, so we'll export out of Lightroom. Our 10 minutes is up. We're gonna do this last little part quickly. It will cover my export settings to export for sharp posting onto Instagram. So if you're curious about what those settings are, you can pause the video in a moment here. I'm also going to put a screenshot at the end of the video because this video has a little more time. All right, back in Lightroom. I'm going to make one more final tweak. I kind of blew out the center of this a little bit in Luminar, so I'm going to pull the highlights down a little bit. And that's really it. This JPEG's ready to get kicked out. We'll go File, Export. These are export settings that were taught to me on a photography workshop. Let's call this green, gold, Boulder, Colorado, sunrise. Oh no, I'm sorry, sunset. Doesn't matter. This is the important part. Image format, JPEG. Quality, 100. Color space, sRGB. Resize your long edge to 3000 pixels. Normally I would do 300 DPI. I'm gonna kick this one out at 240. Reason being, if you put everything out at 300, you don't have to revisit the file, say if you wanted to print it in the future. I manipulate this image a lot, so I'm gonna just put it out at 240 because that is what Instagram will, that's the resolution for that platform and for looking at things on phone and on the internet. So 240, screen sharpening low, and that's it. You're gonna hit export and you should be all set. Write a cool caption, pick out a cool quote, and post away. I'm gonna share some of my hashtag tricks and tips soon, so check back for that, and check back next Wednesday for another editing tutorial. Thanks guys for watching today. If you have any questions, put them below or DM me on Instagram, and check out the rest of my work using the links on the video. If you have any questions or curious about programs or the gear I use, it's all on my website. Just reach out to me and I'd love to help you out. You guys have a great day out there.